Hi, Facebook family and friends. Thanks for tuning in on this beautiful Friday in June. I can't believe half the month is almost over. I'm so excited about the conversation that we're going to have today. As many of you know, I am a huge advocate for the special needs community. I have been for years since my niece was diagnosed as severely developmentally delayed, nonverbal, and on the autism spectrum. And that experience, her diagnosis, witnessing what early intervention can do for a child is just an amazing thing, and I'm a huge advocate. And it's one of my passions. So today, I'm so excited to have two amazing guests from the friendship circle. Tongue twister there for me, not sure why. Who are going to talk about their organization as well as what their upcoming walk is and what their mission is. It's just so important for all of us to give back right now. And one of the ways that I'm trying to do that is just by just offering resources and opportunities and encouraging you all to volunteer and get involved with organizations that you're passionate about. So I'm going to bring on Batta Vujicic and Eli Labor from the Friendship Circle. Eli, Batta, welcome.
Hello, hello, hello.
So great to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Of course. You know, as I mentioned before I brought you guys on, the special needs community is near and dear to me. I've been passionate about it for years because of my niece's diagnosis. And we all have personal stories about why the special needs community is important to us. So if both Bata, you and Eli can go over why you became involved with the Friendship Circle and what your personal experience is and why their mission is so important to you. I would really appreciate it. You want to start off, Bata?
Well, sure. It is very simple. It is really through a love and support for those in need and continue to have a servant heart to express the gratitude to God that has blessed me with 7 children that are all married. And we have 15 grandchildren. They're all healthy. And we are fortunate and blessed, encapsulated in God's being that we could enjoy that, realizing that there are many of those that are not fortunate to do that and enjoy that kind of a benefit. We wanted to reach out and help those. So that's a driving factor. Continue to serve those in needs and do it in the actual practical way that help can be delivered with results.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you for having such a big heart and a big family, it sounds like. Eli, why did you get involved? And can you tell us about what the Friendship Circle's mission is?
Sure. So I'm hearing a bit of an echo, but I'll try plowing through it. It could be on my end. Friendship Circle was established in 2003 to provide programming for children with special needs. So many kids that have special needs or don't have the experience of friendship, and without COVID, we've been maybe not been able to hang out with our friends as much, or go to people's homes, or go out to eat and travel and see friends and family. Children with special needs on a regular basis really feel that without COVID, all the more so with COVID. So we saw that this huge need to provide a space where they could just be themselves, with the added dimension of having teenage volunteers from the local high schools give up their time, volunteer, and be buddies with the kids. So it's really a win-win where the teenagers get a sense of responsibility and allow them to really give back. And the children and the families are benefiting so much from a safe and comfortable environment where they can just enjoy themselves. So our mission is really just to provide friendship, really, and provide an opportunity for the families and children. I got involved in 2007, 2008. My wife at the time was the program coordinator, and it evolved from there. And I just seeing the smiles on the families' faces and children's faces is what keeps me going really with the program. And Batta is a huge pillar in the community here in Caneo, and he's been supportive of our organization as well as many other causes. But he's been such an inspiration to keep it going and providing his voice and contacts to help us. So, and I appreciate the opportunity to come on and kind of speak about our organization, because we really want, if anyone has either as a teenage volunteer that wants to give back from 9th grade through 12th, call us, contact us. As soon as program could resume fully. Obviously, right now it's a bit different, but we have opportunities to volunteer. And for families, if any type of assistance, especially with programming or in any other way that we can help with resources, we have a parent support group. So these are things that we really want the community to know about.
Thank you, Eli. You brought up some great points there too. So my mom worked for LAUSD for 25 years, and she started off actually as a TA in my brother's classrooms, but she would go on to work in special needs. And I was a little grade schooler when she worked for LAUSD, and she started working in special needs classrooms as a special needs assistant. And I eventually went to the same schools that she worked at, and I would be partnered with children from her classroom. And it was a big experience for me because it, not only allowed me to see the world through a different lens, but also when somebody has special needs, whether that's visible or not visible, it allowed me to relate and build a friendship as well. And I think that research has even shown that over the years that children with special needs thrive when they're partnered and they build relationships with typical children. So it wasn't necessarily scientific, but that's the way I was brought up, and come to find out years later that this is how we can allow for special needs children to thrive and exceed expectations and beat those expectations that are sometimes put on them. But you're right, also create a society that is accepting and including of all. And that sounds to me exactly like what your work is doing. Can you tell me a little bit about, what the process is for teenagers to get involved?
Sure. So one of the great things is a lot of the schools have mandatory community service hours. Mm-hmm. And I'm so happy about that, because it starts off because they have to, in order to graduate, they have to do X amount of hours. But really, once they start getting involved, they far exceed their quotas of the minimum that they need to do, because it's something that they really enjoy. And it's not a all or nothing type of setup where you need to commit to come to every single program or whatnot. It's based obviously on your availability. Obviously, we want commitment as much as possible. If you're coming to a specific program, then we're kind of relying that you're going to be there. So, right. The car had a flat tire or suddenly I just surprised we're going on vacation. So that makes it difficult to do pairings, because we try doing one-on-one. That's really where a child thrives, where they can have that one-on-one connection. And also for supervising, if they run off a little bit and you need to redirect to say, hey, we're going to be doing this, the one-on-one is really beneficial. So reaching out to us and volunteering and filling out, there's a volunteer form that we have online that they can fill out their information, and then we follow up and have a meeting to discuss what the responsibilities are and a little bit of what to expect with volunteering. And if we have a bigger group, then we do a little bit of a training, so to say, with hopefully a lot of times with a mom or dad to speak to the volunteers about how much it means for them to be. That's so impactful and so important for them to hear, but also from maybe a lot of times from a therapist perspective to kind of come up with some plans in case there needs to be some redirection or certain ways of getting them to open up a bit about, whether it's an activity like we're going to toss the ball now. So a lot of times if they're nonverbal, they won't express that
Right.
they want to do something else. So you just kind of pick up on some cues and stuff like that, which as a teenager, we don't expect you to know all of that. So we try as much as possible. But so much of it is really learning on a case-by-case basis because everyone is so different. And it just amazes me to have 14, 15-year-olds be so intuitive and caring and thinking on their feet. It's really amazing. It really, for me, even I'm not so old, but it just gives me a lot of confidence in the next generation, so to say,
Right.
of how adaptable they are and how they really want to give and care. So it's very heartwarming and it gives me a lot of optimism for the future.
Right. So Batta, I know that Eli is on the ground day to day involved with the organization, but you have to have been seen how hard the COVID-19 pandemic, the lockdown, the stay-at-home order has hit special needs families and nonprofit organizations. Really, not just like yourself, but nonprofit organizations, across our community are really hurting, whether it's because they need to raise money or because they can't do what they were built to do, which is to service people. What have you seen over the past couple of months, and how do we move forward?
Well, being involved in many ministries, many nonprofits, it's straight across the board. Every single one of them has been suffering, and it has affected a great deal because people are uncertain about the future. They're uncertain about their jobs. And when there is uncertainty, there is fear and there's a self-preservation. So people, instead of having open hand and give, they take it and they hold it to their chest without realizing they cannot receive anymore unless they open the hand and give it back. So one thing that they need to learn is when you receive, don't hold it back. Give it back to the community and God will provide you much more. So the friendship circle has been affected as well, drastically. And we would like to remind all those that listen that especially in a time such as that, you need to open hand and give. Don't just give what you have plenty. Don't just give from the excess, but give from heart. Because when we have people like you, Lizette, they grew up of having servant heart, grew up hands-on ministering to the needs of the special children, learning from your mom and from the others. And you, Ellie, who really roll up the sleeves and do that day in and day out. We need to help you out. People like me, I don't know mechanics like you do. They own operations because it would become awareness to me. And we know that awareness comes when we try to carry burdens that we're not intended to carry. So you're intended to carry that burden. And I'd like to salute both of you, especially you, Lizette, as you're now preparing for a leadership in the state assembly. Keep that servant heart. Don't try to be somebody you're not. As you get up there and God gives you that grace and favor, continue to have that servant heart when you're up there.
Absolutely.
And Ellie, you also continue to be in the front lines, in the trenches, minister to the needs of those special children because they're special. You do present sacrifices for future benefits, and there's a blessing to flow out of it.
Oh, thank you so much, Batta. Yeah, I am excited about the opportunity. I know that I'm still working really hard to make sure I win in November because I want to be there to be the voice for the special needs community. Whether it's, I was having this conversation with some moms that have special needs children, and they want to be vocal, they want to be active, but they're taking care of their children that require a lot of time and a lot of resources. So it's really hard for them. So my understanding of the life and that they live every minute of the day, they are supportive of me. And right now I'm a bit angry because of the budget. It's something that I'm going to fight for. The special needs community is going to be, with the first round of budget cuts, going to be taking an $85 million budget cut. the special needs community hasn't been made whole since the last recession 10 years ago. So I'm excited to get up there and to fight as hard as I can to make sure that we are spending our money wisely, but we are putting resources where they need to be put, and that is with our most vulnerable communities, such as the special needs community. Can you guys tell me a little bit about this wonderful, is it the 8th or 9th upcoming walk? What is it, when is it, and how do people participate?
So it's actually over 10 years now that we've had it, and it's usually in March, and usually comes with a nice crowd that participates in a walk procession, which celebrates the children and participants and volunteers and families and community. Unfortunately, because of COVID, we had to delay that plan for now, for this year. So we pivoted to do something more online and have the opportunity for people to join by signing up and hopefully send in a picture or two when you're walking, and we hope to include as many photos and videos of people walking that we can include in our kind of montage of this virtual walk event. So it's our main fundraiser for the year, and it really relies on people like Batta and other people in the community that reach out to they roll out their Rolodex and reach out to their friends and family from all over the world, really. Batta has friends and family that have from Australia to Ohio, Florida, you name it, that are donating to our cause, and it's really, really amazing. But what people sometimes don't realize is that, oh, who do I know? I don't have any contacts. I don't have any big, heavy hitters that will donate, a lot of money. It's not about the amount of money, really. It's really the like, with campaigning, it's the small amounts that add up. And so people that are able to give $5, if that's times 1,000, and let alone the fact that a lot of times it's 18 and 50 and more, then it really starts having this steamroll effect. And also, when someone gives a little bit, they know more about the organization now. So many people have found out about us because they were donors to our organization because they got an email from someone asking them to donate. Right. And now they have a friend or family member that has someone special and say, hey, did you hear about Friendship Circle? No, what is that? Well, I donate to them. Go call them. They have programs. So it's really about, it's a dual purpose, getting the message out about what we do and how we can assist, and also to help the fundraising part of it, to keep the lights on.
Right. I would just encourage anybody listening right now, anybody watching later, it's not as difficult as it sounds, right? Or as it feels, or you may seem. If you were to go call your 5 closest friends, even your 10 closest friends, and say, hey, I really need you to write me a check or to give me $20 for this walk, and I need you to call 2 of your closest friends to give $20 to, I mean, that adds up really quickly. And, just by, reaching out to 5 or 10 people and asking them to reach out to 2 people, you can really support lots of organizations that really, really need it. I mean, they need it for multiple reasons. One, because nonprofits are not getting the normal money amounts or donations that they would typically get, because people are holding back, or because they don't have a job, or they're worried about making payroll if they're a business owner. We completely understand that, but we also know that more than ever, people need services. And you're right, for the special needs community, how have you been serving them virtually? Because I've seen that you have done a little bit, because this is what your money is going towards, guys. This is so that we can support a program that supports individuals and builds friendships that are so urgently and desperately needed, especially during this COVID-19.
Yeah, so we've been doing online type of programs as much as possible. whether it was we did a sing-along type of things that we've done with Zoom, but a lot of it has been, which has been great, has been the volunteers connecting individually with the kids that they've seen at programs, and even a quick phone call just to see how you're doing and catching up as much as possible for those that are verbal, and has been remarkable. And then as well as keeping in touch with the parents and providing any type of resources that we can. We made some masks that we sent out to families that they could have, and that, you know, the ones that we had were actually worked out really well because they allowed for a little bit more breathing. It wasn't as tight. So that's a big, you know, although the new guidelines obviously, and parents should know that the guidelines are that if it's difficult for someone, which is someone with autism, it's very hard for them to wear a mask. They don't need to, and they need to know that if going to a store and someone tells them you're not allowed in here because your child or you know, even young adult is not wearing a mask, they need to know that they could say they have special needs and they're exempt from wearing it. And because it's, you know, otherwise you feel
Right.
you have to walk out and leave, and that's not the case. And it's not the fault of the store people because they may not know.
Right.
So, you know, we're really trying to see, and we're evaluating. We're hopefully we might start something already in July, the end of July, of doing our summer camp. We're hoping. Lots of families are really pushing and interested, and I think within the guidelines we could do it. So we're gonna do our best possible to open that.
Well, thank you. That would be amazing. But guys, they cannot do it without your support. They can't do it without your donations. What is your website if somebody wants to either participate or just make a donation? Where can they do that at?
Sure. So it's very easy. friendshipwalk.org.
Got that, guys. friendshipwalk.org. We'll make sure that we put that in this thread as well and promote it. Batta, did you want to add anything before before we wrap up our wonderful conversation about the Friendship Circle?
Well, it's a wonderful nonprofit, a ministry in a community that needs to continue, needs to be supported, and level of support needs to increase. And again, I like to echo, especially during a time such as we have now on hand, when the needs are many, and especially to those that are suffering and special needs. So let's do it. And again, I salute your efforts and Elihu's efforts. By the way, his name is Elihu.
Oh, okay.
Elihu. We call him Eli for short. Elihu. So Eli, all the best to you and your family. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Batta.
It's almost there, a couple more hours. And greetings to Rabbi Brisky.
Thank you.
From my family, and continue in faith, and everything's going to fall in its place. And you too. I'd like to wish you all the best, God's blessing and favor, that He grants you the leadership and that you serve with a passion.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thanks for hopping on. Look forward to meeting you in person next time.
Yes, God willing.
Bye now.
All in due time. Bye.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed learning more about the Friendship Circle and just their wonderful services that they provide to our community. Like they said, check them out, friendshipcircle.com, donate, support them. We are having a wonderful campaign week. I'm so glad that restaurants in Simi Valley, Santa Clarita are opening. We're seeing more and more activity, but we'll be safe and be responsible. There's a lot going on in our world, and amongst the chaos, I hope that, you know, me doing these weekly Facebook Lives are really providing resources and a glimpse of different things going on in our community, because I do understand how hard it is to get out and be involved as much as we're typically used to. So check out my website to learn more about my campaign, www.suzettevaladares.com, and I will see you next week. Thanks.